Peter the Panda and the Forest That Raised Him by Danya Wali Muhammad, Thomas Shear, Andrea Apostolova, and Keaton Wood.
High in the misty mountains of China, where oak and birch trees changed colors every year, lived a small red panda named Peter. The forest had 4 strong seasons. Spring brought rain, summer was warm and humid, fall painted the leaves red and gold, winter was cold and dry. Peter loved this forest. It was his whole world. Peter lived in a hollow oak tree, tucked safely above the ground. The thick bark kept him warm in winter, and the leaves shaded him in summer. Below him grew bamboo, tall and green. Peter spent most of his days eating it. Crunch, munch, crunch. "Bamboo keeps me strong," Peter said proudly. One morning, the forest felt different. Peter looked around. The air was drier. Some of the old trees were gone, and the bamboo wasn't growing as thick as before. The forest he knew was disappearing. Peter waited for his parents to return, but they never did. Peter was scared the forest was changing, but he didn't know why.
Cold and scared, Peter climbed higher into the trees. Climbing was his best defense. It kept him safe from the danger below, but he was alone. That's when a deep voice echoed through the forest. "Little one," said, "Bow the Azisic black bear, you shouldn't be alone." Bow the bear was strong and wise. He dug into logs for insects and scattered seeds wherever he walked. "We of the forest need each other," Bow said. "When I move seeds, new plants grow. That keeps everyone alive. You can't survive just on your own." Bow the bear moved on, and where he walked, seeds and fruits were broken open and knocked to the ground. Peter happily had a snack. As the seasons changed, Master Ling the leopard watched from the shadows. Peter almost didn't notice his spotted coat against the trees until he revealed himself. "We all must do what we must to survive. That is why I hunt," Ling admitted, swallowing a mouse. "Without prey, I can't live. Without forests, my prey disappears." Peter learned about predator and prey, how every animal depended on the well-being of those below them on the food chain to survive. Ling didn't hunt Peter. "Grow strong," he said, "and stay alive." During the cold winter, Peter met May the hazel tree. Her wide leaves caught sunlight even in the shade. Her deep roots pulled water from dry soil. "I survived because I adapt," May whispered. "I have grown into my home, and so must you." Peter curled beside her roots to stay warm.
During the spring rains, Peter noticed something unusual. A thick patch of Japanese knotweed had started growing where the bamboo once waved in the breeze. "Look," said Tashi, the red muntjac. His bellowing call alerted everyone to danger. "It's taking over the space where the bamboo should be. Soon there won't be any left to eat." Peter's paws trembled. Without bamboo, he didn't know how he would survive. One night, a marten crept toward Peter. It was hungry, for it could find no food. Peter froze, then climbed. The marten climbed after Peter, but Peter squeezed into a narrow hollow in the oak tree. The marten's claws scratched the bark, but it couldn't fit inside. "I'm learning," Peter said. "I'm not a cub anymore." Summer came hotter than before. The rains were too heavy, then, suddenly, none at all. Winter came, but the snow was light, and the streams were dry. "Something is wrong," whispered Darien Birch. "The seasons aren't acting like they used to." The forest was confused. So was Peter. Bow gathered the animals. "The forest raised us," he said. "Now we must protect each other." "We must act fast," he added. "The forest is changing too quickly. If we don't protect it, the trees, the bamboo, and all of us will suffer." Around them, the oak trees held the soil in place, and the shrubs kept young plants safe by holding water in the dry soil. The animals worked together, spreading seeds and keeping the forest in balance. Peter watched carefully and realized something important. He belonged in this forest, and it belonged to him too.
Peter found a new hollow tree, higher, warmer, safer. He shared bamboo with insects, sheltered birds in storms, warned others when danger came. He wasn't just surviving, he was helping the forest survive. One fall morning, golden leaves drifted down. Peter stood tall on a branch. I was raised by this forest, he said, by bears, trees, rain, and time. He wasn't alone anymore. He was home. As winter returned, Peter watched the forest rest. Snow covered the branches and the bamboo bent softly under the cold. Peter thought about everything that had happened. How the forest had raised him, how the animals had taught him, and how he had helped protect their home. He understood now. Growing up wasn't leaving the forest. It was learning how to care for it. And so, in the temperate, deciduous forests of China, Peter the red panda grew into something special, a guardian of the forest that raised him. The trees, the bamboo, and all his friends knew they could count on him now. The end.
We dedicate this book to the deciduous forest because it's facing issues with climate change. There are hundreds of species living in this biome that are losing their homes due to these issues. We must help this biome so that species do not go extinct or lose large portions of their populations. The deciduous forest provides numerous instrumental values, such as soil fertility and nutrient cycling. As the leaves shed, they create a thick layer of leaf litter that decomposes, which then enriches the soil with nutrients and organic matter. In order to protect this biome, we could plant more trees, restore habitats, and raise awareness. These tasks are not too time-consuming and are fairly simple, so they will greatly help the biome if we do them. They will restore biodiversity in the biome, which will ensure a healthier environment.